In this episode of POW Time, the Storm Prediction Center does have a slight risk for severe storms for today, Monday, mainly for strong gusty winds, but we do have an isolated tornado threat. And going into Tuesday, yet we have another slight risk for severe weather. Even into Wednesday, we have a marginal risk for severe storms. At the same time, the heat really starts to build across the midsection of the country, and that will only shift east deeper into the week. Welcome back, everyone. Pal Ponder on Weather here with another update. Hope everyone had a fabulous weekend out there. This is your Monday update. So, like I mentioned, we do have an isolated tornado threat. It's definitely not zero, and right now, the Storm Prediction Center has a 2%. I wouldn't be surprised it actually bumps up to about a 5%. These numbers are pretty high down here in the portions of central and southern Illinois, especially as you go into Indiana, southern Ohio, and then northern parts of Kentucky. That's mainly the bullseye tonight. Let's take a look at the overall setup as far as excessive rainfall today. And like I mentioned, we do have, again, those areas that just don't need the rainfall in Tennessee and Kentucky will be impacted again with these just rounds and rounds severe weather. That cold front that brought all the flooding rains, sunk southward, and then it came back up yesterday as a warm front, and it's still moving further north. And now we've got that another cold front coming in from the northwest. So you've got that clash again, and that's going to add insult to injury down here into portions of the Ohio Valley. But yeah, there's the heavier rains. I mean, Vegas has been getting some heavier rains. Lake Mead has been getting some rain. So this is actually a good sign, especially sneaking into California as well. So hey, they'll take all they can get out there, but some of this can fall too fast down there in the deserts, because obviously the ground is just so dry out there, and it's just very difficult to soak into those soils. But as we go and kind of expand the view and take a look at the overall radar amounts for the next 2 days, and there's the bullseye again where you just don't really need the rain. You're getting the highest amounts anywhere in the country into portions of Kentucky, Tennessee. We're going to be adding multiple inches of rain again in those same areas, at all the flood ravaged areas, getting into portions of extreme Virginia, portions of West Virginia. We do have this little easterly wave and this kind of sea breeze action down here into portions of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, especially along the coast here, and that'll sneak into portions of the Houston Metroplex, which obviously much needed rain as well. Then of course you got the sea breeze action up in course into Florida, and then all the activity that's heading with the monsoonal flow and just kind of the remnants and leftover moisture of Frank there off the west going into the middle of the week. It's going to be all about the heat, and of course we're in the middle of summer. This is the beginning of August here. So we got one more month of really summer and a really intense heat, and that's going to be really setting up shop over portions of Texas again, where it's just been relentless day after day after day. And then that high pressure center will be basically shifting over the midsection of the country. But the difference this time, there's another ridge of high pressure off the East Coast as well, and that's really going to be elevating the temperatures up there. We're going to be talking widespread 90s as you have that weakness and the ridge coming in off the West Coast with that trough digging in. That's going to bring some much cooler conditions and really start to take shape, and then we'll have to actually shift this ridge of high pressure. There's your setup by Friday going into Saturday, right? And so as this ridge of high pressure will be just kind of dominating over the midsection of the country, you can definitely tell where the ridge of high pressure will be, where there's not much rain to speak of, because you got a lot of sinking air and that type of atmosphere. The monsoonal flow will be alive and prevalent over the Four Corners regions. I don't really see that going away anytime soon. But with this ridge of high pressure, the further north it does, it has this weakness that's coming off the Ohio Valley and the East Coast. This is what they have known as what they call an easterly wave that will be coming across portions of the deep south here. That'll slowly shift, and by the time we get into late Friday, heading into Saturday, that'll try to spread some much needed precipitation. It's just all about the ridge of high pressure. Sorry guys, I mean, you got pretty much a major heat wave going to be building across the midsection of the country, but then by next weekend it really starts to expand and really starts to dominate over the central plains here. So I'm expecting widespread, heat advisories taking shape. Your heat indexes are going to be well over 105 degrees in this part of the country, and so yeah, just dangerous stuff with this pretty intense summer that's still building over the midsection of the country, and that doesn't end there. So as we get into even next week, there's the ridge of high pressure, well above average temperatures really start to dominate from much of the country. The only cooler spot in town, it's not cold for them because these averages are like 105, 106 degrees in Phoenix. But with the monsoonal flow and all the clouds around, all the rain around, you're going to start to see those below average temperatures for them. But for much of the country, especially the midsection of the country, that will be the dominating high pressure system over the midsection of the country with those most intense, well above average temperatures. But a good chunk of the country is going to be experiencing the deepening ridge. And there's that trough that'll be prevalent off the west, bringing the rain showers back for them, keeping the monsoonal flow alive off the Four Corners region. So that's where you'll see these above average rains, where the center part of the ridge of high pressure, all the dominance and all the sinking air, that's where you're going to be shutting the taps off of any moisture supply of trying to wring out in that atmosphere. But overall, look at the total precipitation amounts really over the next 7 to 10 days. I mean, there's really several points of interest down here into the Four Corners regions: Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, getting into Utah, Nevada, getting into far extreme portions of California, maybe even Southern California, getting into that monsoonal flow. And then we'll have another pocket of instability where we just have these pesky cold fronts and these warm fronts that'll be impacting parts of the Ohio Valley. So that'll keep the rain showers and the above average rains for them. And then you'll have those instability portions along the East Coast as well. And then all this action down here further to the south in the deep south, that's part of the easterly wave that will be coming across pretty much all week long. And depending on how weakening the ridge can be, it will allow maybe some of that precipitation to maybe try to sneak a little bit further into Texas and maybe possibly bringing in some much needed rain. So hey, I appreciate you guys watching out there. Do hit the subscribe button if you haven't already to catch all my latest updates. You can follow me on Facebook, you can follow me on Twitter. I do update pretty regularly on there as well. And then please join the channel as well. And I appreciate all the people that are members of the channel. So I appreciate you guys watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.